Hello, my name is Marley and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another vlog, the last vlog of the magical readathon. I had some very relaxing days, but I didn't do anything, which also means I didn't read anything. So we got 3 books left to read in 6 days, which will be interesting because I don't think I will be able to do that. I do sleep very badly at the moment, so maybe I just will. I'm still reading Queens of the Wild by Readathon. I didn't make any progress since the last vlog. Yeah, I got a single page while waiting for my food to cook. I also got left Nordblutwölfe Reveal by Mira Valentin. I think I have 150 pages left in Queens of the Wild. And this has about 360 pages. And then we have Nachts im Kanzleramt, which is a non-fiction, but I should be able to get through this quite quickly. It's by Marietta Slomka, and this has about 320 pages, which means we are at... oh, now I gotta calculate. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to read more than 100 pages a day. This won't be possible. Will I give up? No, I still do it. I also started learning Slovenian. Well, starting is kind of vague. I already started kind of in March when I first heard that I was going to Slovenia. And I found a YouTube channel that uploads like small lessons on Slovenian, and I started with the first, I think, 3 lessons back in March, and I just revisited them yesterday, hung some stuff up, and the plan is to do 1 lesson every day and to also try to translate as much as possible when I'm like out and about, you know. And also this evening I'm going to meet some people and we are going to play games. So that's the plan for today: reading, learning Slovene, eating something would be good at some point, and playing games. Okay, so I got some good news and I got some bad news. We'll start with the bad news. It's already the 28th of September and I'm still at the beginning of Queens of the Wild. The good news is, the reason I haven't finished it yet is because I was spending time socializing and also watching some German politics, because stuff is going down. But I definitely don't want to socialize much more the next 2 days. Like I'm done with that for now. It was nice, but I need some rest days from human interaction before, you know, welcome day on Monday. I'm also kind of done with following the German politic updates like second for second, because the most important things have been dealt with, in my opinion, at least for the weekend. So I basically only want to do some sports, maybe go on a walk. I don't think it's warm enough to read outside today. I might try that tomorrow, but for today I'll just only read inside. The thing is, my sleeping schedule is really messed up. Each night this week I haven't slept more than like 2 to 4 hours a night, which isn't enough. And I know myself well enough to know that to fix this, I will probably have to do an all-nighter at some point, unless I am very lucky that it fixes itself, but usually it doesn't. So I'm also thinking, unless I am suddenly very tired this evening, I will just not sleep at all, which sounds very unhealthy. It probably is, but it's the only way for me to manage to get some sleep on Sunday evening, probably, if I want to be awake enough on Monday to get up early and to start the new university year in a way that I'm not already tired before it's even begun. Okay, trying to be quiet because I have flatmates. I'm still not done with Queen of the Wild. The epilogue is just weighted one, or he just introduced a new god instead of making him the own chapter to show how sometimes gods were just invented by folklorists, but it's like way too long. I only have like 20 pages left, but I am kind of getting tired, and it's almost 3 o'clock, which means I will try to fall asleep until 4:30, so I'll give myself 1.5 hours. And if I don't sleep by then, I'm just doing the whole night. I did sleep like 5 hours, which could be a success depending on if I sleep this evening. Still haven't finished my Queens of the Wild, but we are going to finish the like 20 pages of Queens of the Wild now, and then see how far we get with the next book. Final thoughts on Queen of the Wild. It was extremely informative. I think I got like 25 pages of notes out of it. Will I ever look back at them? Yes, I will. It was less about the myths themselves and more about the origins. It was a 4-star for the most of it. And then there was the epilogue, which was like way too long and basically just introduced a new god. And I think the author wanted to make the point that sometimes the gods didn't actually exist in pagan religion. We just made them up in modern times to explain certain things that we saw. But it still felt a little bit too long. It could have been shortened. I think it was like 40 or 30 pages. And then there was also the conclusion afterwards. So I guess it's more of like a it's not a 3-star, it's more of like a 3.75, which on Goodreads at least would translate to 4 stars, I guess. It's also not, unless you're like really, really interested in the history behind like certain gods that don't even necessarily have been proven to be pagan, unless you're like really interested in that, this is not like a starter nonfiction. While it is, I think it's very well researched. Obviously, I'm not an expert in that specific field. I'm not an expert in anything yet, really. But it felt really well researched. There were a lot of notes on where he got the information, whether the information he has is reliable or if there is definite proof of certain things. But it also felt that sometimes like it's very academic. He is an academic, the author, which obviously is a plus because at least he probably knows his stuff. But that also means that this is not beginner friendly if you haven't read another nonfiction yet. Now I put on some warmer clothes, or I will put on some warmer clothes to put over the things I'm wearing right now, because I want to go outside for the next book and read a bit in the park. But it's not that warm today. And I don't have the thickest jacket, so, you know, gotta layer stuff. I think I'll start reading the fantasy while I'm eating breakfast to see if I can get immersed into the writing style easily or if it takes me some time. I arrived at Tivoli Park. This park is huge. I've never in my life seen a bigger park. It starts as one of these typical man-made parks with playgrounds and some grassy areas, some paths, and then it just blends into a forest. And the forest goes like really deep. It's on a hill. I think it's one hill, it might be several hills. It's actually like kind of called a mountain. I wouldn't call it a mountain myself, but you know. I went up a bit, so I'm a bit farther away from the noise. So I did just hear a child scream like really loud, so it's not that far. And also, I wanted to take one of the earlier benches, but then there were just those crossing the path, and I only saw 2 of them. But just in case there are more and there's like a natural doe path going on there, I didn't want to sit there. Like, I don't want to disturb the wildlife more than I already do by just existing in these areas. So I decided to go up even farther. And now it's really quiet. It's not even like the path where the does cross. It's not even a remote part. It's a path where a lot of hikers go. And like a few seconds before I got there, some people had been there because they passed me. There is only one path there, so the does can't be that shy. They must be really used to human just walking around. But then again, the park goes in really deep. They could just go in like a few meters further and then there would be no humans. Anyway, interesting those. They were really close as well. Unfortunately, I had neither my phone camera nor this camera open at the moment, and they were a bit too fast for me to capture them. But yeah, that's my experience with those for today. I also decided to continue with Nordblut Wolf by Mira Valentin, the German book about Iceland and Vikings. There are definitely fantasy elements to it. It already started with a child that should be sacrificed, but now there's some magic going on. I've only gotten like 20 pages in, 28 pages, but like it's definitely a historical fantasy. I am getting through this book quite easily. It's pretty good. We follow several characters, but the important part to know is that the three gods Odin, Frigga, and Loki have made a pact that they each choose one person, and for 9 years these three people have to go through several tasks and challenges. The god who chose the person that does best wins. And each of these gods has put something into the bed. For example, if Loki wins, he will be freed from his prison, which would also mean the end of the world, because as soon as he gets out of this cave that he has been imprisoned in, he will free this, I forgot what its name was, but I think it's a wolf. He will free this wolf, and then that will be the end of the world, of the human world. So there are actually things at stake for the people who have been chosen. There's only one person who actually knows. He has been chosen by one of the gods. He was chosen by Odin. The other two have seen visions, but they don't have the certainty that the other character has about these 9 years. We are still at the very beginning of the 9 years. Actually, I think it's been like a week or two that have passed. Two of the chosen people are already fighting each other. I'm at that point. I don't know how it's going to end, because right now I am in the middle of the fight. I think I might actually be able to finish it today. I have like 200 pages left. So it is already the 3rd of October, so magical readathon is over, obviously. I did finish Nordblut Wolf by, I always forget the name, Mira Valentin, on the 30th of September, so that still counts. I also started with the next book that I wanted to read, Nachts im Kanzleramt. However, I did not finish this, obviously, because I had like half an hour left of the day, and like I want to read 200 pages in half an hour. Also, I'm unsure how to proceed with this. I do want to read it, however, it is extremely basic. Like, it's the most basic explanation of the German political system and of terms and definitions. And obviously, as somebody who studies international relations and governance and public policy, I kind of already like know all of this. I do want to continue with it though, so I have like kind of an idea if this is a good book for people who don't know all of this stuff, so that should anybody ever ask me about a book about German politics, I can like recommend this to them. Not sure why anybody would ask me, because people I know all have the basic knowledge, kind of. But you never know. Back to this one. This was good. I liked the plot. I liked the characters. I did see that this is a series of 5 books. And I do want to read the second one, but I don't know if I'm invested enough to read all 4 remaining books. Also, it's gonna take me a while until I acquire the next one, because, you know, I try not to buy books at the moment. But the ending did kind of intrigue me. It wasn't like a cliffhanger as much as it was more of a way for the author to be able to continue the story a few years later, I think, because I saw that the second book I think it's set like 7 years after the end of this one. Or maybe it's only set three, no, I think it's only set 3 years after the end of this one because 7 years would not make sense in the story. This was also self-published, which I've had a lot of luck recently with self-published books. Maybe I should try to find more of them. If you're German and like Nordic fantasy, Nordic historical fantasies, this is definitely a good book and it's not too long. So if you're not into like the big, huge fantasy books and want to read about a different mythology than the Greek or Roman one that you usually find a lot of, I would recommend this. Anyway, that's it for this vlog. I don't know when I'm gonna start the next one, just because I don't know yet how much time I will have, because like my timetable is kind of full, and there are also some assignments that I will have to do each week, and it's a bit of a change for me because in Germany university works a bit different than in Slovenia, so I still have to get used to that. But I will try to finish Nachts im Kanzleramt in the next few days and then start with the second part of the Count of Monte Cristo. But that's more like for the next vlog. So thank you for watching and I see you very soon.